Hi there, it's Sharon Waxman, the editor-in-chief of TheWrap, coming to you from our studio at the Toronto International Film Festival. And I'm delighted to welcome the cast and the director of The Assessment, a really interesting film that's playing here at the festival. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Let's just go around, everybody introduce themselves, be the fastest. Go ahead.
I'm Elizabeth Olsen.
I'm Alicia Vikander.
Yes, you guys are. Yes.
I'm Fleur Fortuné.
I'm Himesh Patel.
No
Welcome.
one beats her name though. Flower Fortune
I actually,
in
when
French. So
honestly,
yeah.
I saw that and I thought that can't be her real name.
I think
It's
we all-
it's
we
It
all
is
ask
my
the
real
same
name,
thing.
but everyone asks me though.
Everyone asks you Fortuné is like the blessed. It's like what a great way to go through life. So The Assessment is this very interesting and dark look at womanhood and what the future looks like potentially for women, as we are in this very dark period for women where we are losing rights around the world. And The Assessment takes us into a dystopian future where women have to get permission, or couples have to get permission to from the state to get pregnant. This is a very, I would say, extreme look at where society might go. I think the project started with you, Elizabeth. Is that right?
No, Fleur had been trying to get this made for about 5 years before I came on.
Yeah, we developed the script for 4 years. And
4 years, yeah.
for 4 years, and I always thought that it was very interesting. That question of how many people today wants to control women's body and control whether we should or shouldn't have kids, and regarding the fact that we are kind of destroying the planet where they're gonna live. So there's a lot of paradox in our world that I think totally relate to that movie.
Mm-hmm. So Elizabeth, you read the script. You thought, I want to do this.
Yeah, I felt like it was such a beautiful, different, quiet in a way version of a future dystopia. And I loved the themes that we talk about, but I also loved the potential for this. There's a lot of absurd humor and situations in the film. I think the setup of the film is kind of is absurd in a way. And not to give things away,
right?
But that's kind of a spoiler. But there's a lot of humor in it with how we handle it, but the humor makes it even more disturbing. And so I think tonally there are many reasons why I was excited. And I also, if Fleur's previous work is unbelievable, and visually how she works as a filmmaker, I felt so excited to participate in her first feature, because I can't wait for what else she will bring.
Well, the film is quite gorgeous, actually, to look at. So I know exactly what you mean. And I want to refer back to the sort of comedy that you're talking about, because the film opens with this conversation between you and Himesh, who plays your husband. You guys are a married couple, and Alicia, who shows up as the assessor, who's interviewing you about whether, how you're going to pass this test as to whether you get to have a baby. Alicia, talk about when you got the script and you read this, kind of what was your mental process about, do I want to be this person? We know you. You're not that person. Yeah.
See, no. I think the first thing that happened when I read the script, it was just, you read a lot of scripts, and it's kind of rare for me, because it's not the finished product. It's script still, but it was a page turner. I did not know what was going to happen next, and for a script to already, at that stage, bring me in like it did, made me, very excited about, what this could turn out on the screen. And alongside with Fleur, I had also seen, I've been like going through all of our work, and I too was so excited to see what she was going to do with it. And then obviously the role of the assessor is, that is a bit of the mystery. It's like you are trying to kind of figure out what she is about to do next, what she's really up to, what she's putting this poor couple through. And there was definitely unknowns to how I would tackle that character. There was a lot of ways to go. I mean, it was kind of, I was very nervous, to be honest, the first day I came on set, and it felt like everyone, if they had the same feeling like I had when I read it, it was like, what is this going to turn out to be like, Yeah.
Well, to say that the movie takes a lot of unexpected twists and turns, that you start from a really unexpected place and it just continues to go down some like rabbit hole of really kind of crazy ideas. But I do want to pull it back to like you are two women in the prime of like when you would be thinking about having children yourselves in real life and living in this world where we're seeing these cultural battles over women's bodies and who's going to control them. 50 years after this has been decided, right? How do you feel like it was important to make a statement about how dire the situation can become? And we have The Handmaid's Tale. We talk about The Handmaid's Tale all the time because Margaret Atwood already projected this terrible world in some way for us in a different format. But how is it for you? How present is it for you as an issue in your mind?
I think it's incredibly present when you live in the United States as an issue in your mind. However, I would say that reading this script, I didn't actually think that the film's totality is just about controlling women. It was about controlling people and controlling the planet and controlling the environment, controlling what we are allowed to do, taking away individual freedoms in order to create a place where we can continue living for generations and longer. I mean, it's also there, there's a goal to continue to live for as long as we can, but that means there's not as much space and room for the next generation. And so yes, that's important, but there are also other elements that are also important in the world that we've built, I believe. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to. I think so. Anyhow, I think it's larger than just controlling women's bodies. I think the film is about control versus people versus individual freedoms.
That's a great point. Alicia, what's your thought on that?
That was a great answer. I very much agree. But I mean, I was actually 4 months pregnant when I was shooting the film.
Are you kidding? Oh my goodness!
It was kind of this extra layer to this very particular story, having that like kind of life.
So just to draw a clear line for our viewers, while you're playing a role where you are torturing this couple in supposedly making a final decision as to whether they're allowed to have a baby, you're pregnant.
I had a baby. So that, I mean, it definitely, and also, I mean, all the hormones and, what I kind of went through, between takes, kind of, obviously brought a lot, to it. And it became, I did definitely have like a quite profound emotional like balance to how I portrayed that character due to that, I think.
That is pretty amazing. Fleur, do you have a thought about this also, since you're the director?
I think there's a lot of topics in the film, as Elizabeth said, that is like control about like the society trying to control us, like what we are willing to sacrifice if everyone wants so much for us to have kids, but it's actually a hard decision, a hard process. I've been through years of IVF. It's not like an easy thing, and at the same time, we are kind of not making the right sacrifice for the planet. So there's all of this, and I think it's all those topics. It's very. There was a lot of heart, I think, when we're on set for everyone and for all the cast, because at some point it's like it resonates within you like emotionally. So uh, I remember we did the first like the first the three of us, and we were crying at the
Yeah.
end. I mean,
And
first-
when was this? When at
it
what
was
point?
before, like when we were like
Rehearsing?
prepping, and we wanted to do a Zoom together to talk about.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
mean, like,
gosh. Yeah, that
we went
Zoom.
deep.
Oh, before we even got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on in everyone's lives at that point.
and I knew at that point, I was like, I think we can do something good.
Yeah.
And it's and I truly believe, like, whether you want or you don't want to have kids, or like it's not the matter in a certain way, but I think, like, on many levels, like, it will resonate within people, whether it's about environment, it's about like society, it's about like a couple already having kids or wanting to have kids. It's like there's many levels and layers in the film.
That's really amazing. Thank you. So Himesh, you're the odd man out here in the sense that you're surrounded by a lot of women with their, needs and their demands and their points of view. And you're this very loving husband in the film who just wants a child, You also have this very cool AI studio, which is pretty wild. Talk about how that was for you in terms of like situating your character in this drama.
It was awful. I had the worst time. No, it was a wonderful character, and a lot of we spent a lot of time talking about who he is and what the assessor sort of latches onto and manipulates within him, because he has a lot of pain from his experiences before, and so I had a lot of thoughts about what that's turned him into necessarily. Like, I think he wants to be a good person, but he also has an arrogance. He has an ego that I think is manipulated to some degree, and I think he wants a child. Of course, that's why they're going through this process. But he also has a past, and that sort of slowly reveals itself as we go through the story, and it just adds to the sort of complexity of the relationship between the three of them, but also the complexity within this marriage, and where the story ends up going. So there was a lot of wonderful stuff with playing Aryan, and I had a great time. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Good
Thank
luck
you
with the
so much.
assessment.
Thank you.
Thank you
Elizabeth,
for having
Alicia,
us.
Himesh,
Thank
Fleur. We can't wait to see that you share this with the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.